Eyes down for Well, that was, I think that was the, I've lost count. That was maybe the 8th or 9th attempt. And it's still fucking there. Basically, what's happening is that I'm not getting a good weld onto the bolt. The bolt's there, it's clear of the thread. I haven't welded it to the casting, which is virtually impossible to do. I haven't welded it to the steel on the outside. It's still there, it's still separate. It's just not fucking coming out. I'm going to persevere with it. I'm going to persevere with it. I've tapped it. And I'm going to weld to it again and start building up a little nub again and weld till I'm outside. Look, you can see where the bolt, you can actually see where the hexagon of the bolt's been there. Where it's been working. Then tighten these other bolts up now in case they fucking snap off. Still, I mean, at this stage of the game, you could take the bloody front axle off, couldn't you? It's not, it's only bolts. It's all bolted together. Very easy to work on these things. Right, I shall start to weld again. Bye now. There's a sad story, people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. And most of them, it has to be said, most of them are breaking off the original bolt. I'm not getting a decent fix to the original bolt, even though I have been in there with air drill wire brush. As you can see in there, it's clean. You can see the edge of the bolt, you can see the edge of the casting. It's not welded in or anything, it just isn't. I'm not getting enough torque on it to get it to move. I don't know where to go from here. I'm tempted to drill it. I mean, I can drill it and re-tap it. I can drill it and put a helicoil in. There comes a point where you're wasting your time. I've been on this for probably 4 hours now, and I don't seem to be getting anywhere at all. I'm just going to try a punch and see if it will punch loose, but there you go. You have to be careful with punches. Right, I'm going to crack on. I will be persistent. I will not give up. Calamity Kim would never forgive me if I gave up. Bye now. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 2 I've thrown away because I've just swept up because I'm packing up, and that's 14. 14 attempts. As you can see, they are breaking off the stud. I'm not getting a proper weld to the stud. Right, in some cases a very poor weld to the stud. In other cases, you know, not so bad. But I don't think it's moving. I really don't think it's moving. I'm not getting any movement at all. I think what movement I am getting is it's shearing. What do I do? Do I get the drill out? Do I get the drill out and get a small drill? Well, the thing to do with a thing like this is to get a milling cutter, right, and try roughly with an old milling cutter to get the top of the stud flat. Once you've got the top of the stud flat, you can. The problem is I can't use this hole to centre it because it's not in the centre of that hole by a long way. Right, so what I'd have to do is get a centre punch onto the flat and get it as close to the centre as possible. Keep tapping, You can move a centre pop mark sideways if you're not happy with it, right? But basically get a good centre pop on it, and then put a 3/16 drill down the middle of it, right, to relieve some of the stress in the bolt. Maybe follow it by a 1/4 one. I don't know. If we could get a 3/16 hole into it, I could get a welding rod into the, I could get the wire into the hole and maybe get a better hold on it. But I mean, it's, you know, you can see the casting, you can see the stud, it's very clear. I think it's maybe just that welder, this single phase welder, good welder though it is, it has always done this. The first few split seconds of contact, it goes spit, spit, fart, and then it welds perfectly, right? And it's that spit, spit, fart that's giving me a poor connection to that stud. That should bloody come out, right? It's not badly damaged. The only thing is, it's been in there since 1955 probably. It should come out. I'm going to put some release oil in it, and I'm going to push the tractor back in and pack up and call it a day. So that's Thursday gone, folks. Thursday's gone in a whirlwind of frustration and persistence. I did keep at it. I didn't stop. I even tried one of my other favourite tricks, which was to get a strip of metal with some holes in it and just weld it onto it like that. And that didn't work either. So there you go. Oh, hang on a minute. If that's 14, that's got to be 15, 16, 17, 18 attempts. Well, you can't knock me. You know, I may be crap at skill, but you must give me a point for persistence, right? I'm going to call it a day. Thursday's gone. I'm going to pack up, move all this stuff back inside, go home and weep softly into my computer. Bye now. Morning, folks. It's Friday, and I've just come back from my hiya friendly local electrical engineers, where I've got the mackings of a 3-phase extension lead so that I can bring my welder, the big welder, out of the welding shop. He said, putting welding shop light on. Out of the welding shop, run it from that socket out of the welding shop and back into the main workshop so that I can use it pretty much anywhere I want. Because I think this single phase welder is A, getting retired, and B, it's going down to Michael's workshop at the Legion to mend his Austin Champ. So there you go. So that's first job, folks, is put the socket together, put the extension together, close the little welder down, get the big welder out here, and have another crack at this bloody bolt. Right? It's good for a laugh, and it's giving you all a laugh anyway. Right, I shall crack on with that, get this stuff outside and move on. Oh, I found another, poking around behind the paintwork, I found another registration number, which could be KWP or KWF 456 or 466 or 966 or something like that. So that's odd, because we now have 2 possible registration numbers. Anyway, I've put an inquiry into DVLA today, this morning, on their beta website, which I had to go around in circles about 3 times before it actually worked, but I know they're under pressure and they're trying their best. But there you go. So we may be getting, or we may be able to get a registration number for it, but it probably won't be the original one, but who cares? It'll be a historic one. It'll be a historic one, so we'll crack on with that as well. Let's hope that turns up. It says they reply within 3 days, so there you go. Right, I'm going to get this gear outside and start the day with a cup of tea. Bye now. Just a little, oh look, doesn't that rocker cover look nice? Just a little Elfin safety bulletin here. See that red on that arm? That's what you get when you're welding t-shirts. And the only way to do it is to clap aloe vera on it quick. Right, I noticed this last night, suddenly it felt sore and red, and that's where I've been bloody welding with a t-shirt on. Don't weld with t-shirts on, people, cover your arms. Alright, bye now. Right, it's 2 o'clock. I've just got all these parts painted, because I will need those painted to put the radiator back on. So, we've got that done, and I've made up the extension lead, which looks very smart. Not bad actually. It was 34 quid for 10 metres of cable and 2 sockets. It's not bad. If you look on the internet, you can buy them ready made on the internet. They're all a lot more expensive than that, so there you go. In fact, some of them would like over 100, but that's just taking the piss. And that was for 10 metres, so there you go. Right, I'm going to set up. I'm going to take this welder to pieces, well, take the bottle off it anyway, and then I'm going to set up and have another go at this bolt. That may be stupid. Maybe I should just do another job and leave it till next week. Leave it to soak till next week. I'll have another go at it. There's little jobs to do now. This handbrake, sometimes it works. The problem is when you pull it on and then you squeeze the thing, it doesn't release it. It needs this rod inside here adjusting, and I've just noticed that there is a little thread at the top to adjust the pull, but as you can see, there's so much lost movement on that. There's so much lost movement on it, but it's riveted on. This pin through here is a rivet, and it's just a bit of Mr. Ford. Just a bit of Mr. Ford. I don't know if you can see there. Let's have some light on the job. That's a bloody rivet, and it says in the book, remove the rivet. Now what I'm going to do is get a wire brush in there and give it a good scutting off with a wire brush and see if there's an easy way of removing it, but there doesn't look to be, although there looks to be some sort of a split in the end of it maybe, I don't know. It's bloody ridiculous. Anyway, all this mechanism, as you can see, has quite a lot of play in it. And the problem is, you blithely drive along in the thing, you stop, you pull the handbrake on, go and do what you need to do, then you jump back on it, and you try to release the handbrake and it won't bloody release, and you're there 5 minutes riving and prattling about with it. So that's got to be done. And another thing that's got to be done, I pressed that bloody button again, another thing that's got to be done is the air cleaner needs cleaning up and painting. So I might try and get that done today as well. I did the brakes on this tractor when I got it, and they are pretty bloody tip-top, the brake. I took both big wheels off, took the drums off, stripped them down, serviced them, cleaned them, copper slipped all the rubbing joints and put them back together. So that's a job that I don't have to do. Another job I have to do is to take those plugs, there's one plug left in there, and clean those threads up. Oh, looking at the other side, let me just show you the other side. It looks like all 4 plugs are in there, yeah, all 4 plugs are in there. So I have to take those out, clean all the threads up, and get ready for I've got the anti-rollover bar in the shed, so I can put that on. And then it's just the mud guards really. Just the rotten mud guards, but they're just tin. They're easy to repair, you know. Just all these bloody holes in it. Ploughing lights, I would think. Them too. I shall repair them. They shall be repaired. And then the back axle. I've got a new seal for the PTO, which is leaking. I've got a new seal for the steering box under here, which as you can see is leaking. I may need, in fact I probably will need new bushes for the steering box, so but I'm taking the tank off to paint it anyway, so we've got that to do. and when I take the tank off I'll just paint the tank off and then put it back on. Then we've got to put the dynamo back on, see if it's charging. You can bet your life it won't be, because the cutout box is in there. Now I have serviced the cutout box. I have been in it and I have serviced it, and as far as I could see, I set it up correctly, it all appeared to be working, but it didn't charge. And then I looked at the dynamo that was on it, which is laying around here somewhere, there. I looked at the dynamo that was on it and I thought, that's not a tractor dynamo, that's a car dynamo. It's probably the wrong dynamo, that's not enough output. I stripped the dynamo, I couldn't find anything wrong with it, brushes were good, con was clean. I checked it, motored it up, and it motors perfectly okay, and if it motors it should generate. I did I remagnetised it as well, obviously, to suit the polarity, but I mean it was on the tractor when it came anyway. So I've got to get that charging system working. But other than that, I want to jack the front end up, grease the kingpins, and make sure that the bottom thrust bearings are being greased and are in good condition and not full of rust and water, because they make a huge difference to how easy they steer. Huge difference. I've got to get that effing bolt out. And what else is there to do? Really, it's just little jobs now. All the back end, take everything off and get all these bits freed up, put some copper slip on them, put some copper slip on the balls, and just generally bit of maintenance, grease round. And as I say, I've got to take this plate off the bottom here, clean the filter out, and hope the filter's full of crap, and that's why the hydraulics don't lift reliably. I'm just hoping it's not full of water. Hoping against hope. I've noticed that these wheels seem to be different. That one is not dished. That one is dished. Or is it the new centre welded into it? No, it's not a new centre welded into it. That one's slightly dished. That one's not dished. If you look on the outside, they've both had reinforcers put on them, which is usually a sign that they've been used at some time on a JCB. And they do indeed have a modicum of yellow paint on them. They also have green and orange. Right, I shall carry on. I can't remember where I was. That was a genuine failure, that wasn't me, the battery went. Yes, free off all the linkages so I can adjust them so that these are tight and the topper doesn't swing from side to side when you're driving along with it. Sort that bodge up out. Sort these pins out, which look like they're the wrong size pins actually, but just generally just sort it out. And that's about it really. There's nothing serious to do to it now, apart from give it a good wash and a bit of paint. In fact, I might see if I can get that painted today as well, at least in primer, although I don't know, that could be painted blue off actually. That'll have to be painted blue off because it fits in somewhere where you can't paint it. Other than that, back of that bulkhead to clean up a bit, but that's neither here nor there. I think I ought to probably find out what the battery clamp was like and make one, because I don't like having batteries hanging loose in and bouncing all over the bloody place, because the vibration kills batteries. Other than that, oil change, diesel filter change, and we're all go. Main thing really is getting it charging. Everything else is dead straightforward. But I've got the filters, I've got the seals, gonna have to do something with these things. These are pretty nasty, but I have some of this mesh, but I'm not paying 30 quid a piece for them. Sorry. just a bit excessive. Yeah, I think that's about it. All the bolts are present and correct at this side, he said with great relief. Checking. Yes, they're all okay. I don't think this has had a loader on it. And generally speaking, according to Lord Muck and Calamity Kim anyway, that's what tends to snap the bolts. When we first came to the village, our house had a triangular front garden, and my dad decided that at one end of at the wide end of the triangular front garden, he would dig down into the chalk and he would put a garage at road level. Remember, this is Langtoft, there is no flat ground, everything's built into a bank. He would dig the chalk down, put a garage at road level and build an extension out the back of it, which he duly did. The chalk was dug out by a local lad called Sess on a Fordson Major with a loader on, and he did it by backing across the road, selecting first gear, opening the throttle wide and charging into the chalk to smash it up. Front wheels flying in the air. It took him, I think it took him a whole weekend to do it, to get it out. And then he had another tractor in a trailer park there to tip the chalk into. And he did it. He bloody did it, but by God did that tractor cop some hammer. And it did it completely without complaining. The steering was all over the place. It was a tractor that had been used hard all its life, and it was still very reliable and was going at the clappers. But if you've seen the abuse he gave it, digging through solid rock, well, not solid rock chalk, but virtually solid rock chalk, and it just bloody did it. So there you go. Right, I'm going to crack on, get something else done, finish my brew. Yep, there's some brew left, finish my brew, and maybe try and get this bloody stud out. Right, bye now. Number 15 snapped off straight away because I forgot to turn the gas on. This is number 16. Right, number 16. Being allowed to cool. Let's see how we go. This has got a good hold, so I'm hopeful for this. Bye now. Here number 16. But I am getting a much better weld onto the bolt. This welder is a lot better. It's streets ahead of the other one. I'm getting a lot better bond to it. So now I've got renewed faith. But I'm going to have one more go today and see if that's the magic. And then I'm going to do something else for the rest of the day and come back to it on Monday. Right, see you in a bit. Bye now. Number 18, I'm not sure now. I've completely lost track, lost the will to live, and I'm close to picking up the drill. I could do with a magnetic drill for this job. Make sure we get it 90 degrees. I mean, I could take the channel iron off, but then I'd probably just shear off more bolts. We'll see how this goes, and if not, I shall fill in the rest of the day doing something else, and then probably cleaning that oil filter up, and then I shall have another go next week. So I'll bring you back when it's time to have a turn, but I'm going to let it cool thoroughly first. Alright, see you in a bit. Cooling, folks, so I'm going to have a go at this. This is, you know, it looks simple, but it's not. It's very clever, this thing. Apparently it spins the muck out again. Any dust that gets going in there gets spun out again. So the story goes. So I'm gonna make a ring of metal with lots of slots in it. 28 to be exact. There's my sketch. The air goes that way from the underside, so I can do it all right. Right, I'm on. Bye now. It snapped off again. So that is now at least 16 attempts, if not 17. And I'm not going to do another attempt this week. I'm going to leave it and have a fresh go at it next week. So there you go. So I'm just opening. Wire brush the edge of this off to reveal the spot welds, and I'm just opening the tin in between the spot welds. Then I'm going to cut it up there and cut it up there and then twist, and the spot weld will snap. Very easy way of removing spot welds. So folks, that's coming as well. I'm going to leave most of that. I'm just going to tidy that up, take those rough bits off, leave that as it is, and put another piece over the top of it. Okay, and then that's that repaired. That's another thing repaired. So we're rapidly surging forward. I just wish I could get that bloody bolt out. Right, it's gone 4 o'clock, but there's things to do yet. So I shall maybe bring you back for a final glimpse of my miserable life. Bye now. Well, that's it, folks. It's Friday. It's 5 o'clock, and the party's over. The candles dicker and flim. I've been unsuccessful. No novelty there. Right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't already subscribed, get stuck in. Because I must be doing this for a reason. I can't think what it is at the moment. I do enjoy it, you know. I do enjoy it. It's just sometimes, things are irritating. Right, folks. We've gained a 3-phase extension lead. Isn't that good? We can now move the TIG and the MIG anywhere, which makes the single phase MIG even more redundant. I'm going to push all this gear in, I'm going to wash up, and I'm going to go home. And I'll see you all next week for more fun and games on toppers and tractors. Bye now.